What's up, my beautiful people? My name is Rosie and this is Chill Chat with Rosie, where I get to chill with several different people while they share their stories of their journey and their experiences in the UAE. As I always say, everyone has a story. Everyone is special and each story is special, especially when it's being narrated by the owner of the story. For today's episode, I'm blessed to be with an amazing person who happens to be my friend, and that is ROZZIE. Welcome to my channel, and would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is ROZZIE Muthoni, but I'm famously known with the name Tone.
Okay.
Sister Tone. I work in the health industry. I'm a Kenyan.
So you've given me three names: ROZZIE, Tone, Sister Tone, and I do call you Shosti. So which name should I use on this episode? Shosti. Okay. Shosti. So Shosti is my friend, and thank you for coming. For today, I want us to chill and talk about things that we've not spoken about. Let's start from the beginning. Your journey to UAE. How was it, and where did the idea pop up of you coming to Dubai, and why Dubai?
To begin with, Dubai was never in the picture.
Okay.
My plan was to go to Germany. And why Germany? Because a childhood friend of mine had gone there, stayed, looked for a job, and was settled there.
Okay.
And I felt that life was good there. And she invited me there, and I started the process. Along the way, I had to go for the interview in the embassy. It was not successful. You know, coincidentally, other childhood friends who were around for a vacation, and they lived in Dubai. They were working and living in Dubai. So when they came and we were gisting and talking and catching up, I felt like it would be a good choice. And so I made my mind that that's where I was gonna go next.
Okay, so that's how you decided to come.
Yes.
So most people who come to work and live in Dubai, they come with two ways. From Kenya, that is if it's from Kenya. So some come from home, they pay the agencies, and then you come with direct employment. Some apply online, get a job, and come with direct employment. And the other option is people come for job hunting. How did you choose to come?
Well, one thing is that when we were chatting with my friends, I realized about the two things. That's the recruitment or direct employment, and now the job search. So as you talk, like in any story, there's a pros and cons. And I felt like searching for a job would have been the better option
for you.
So I already made up my mind that's what I was going to do. And somehow it weighed more. It was more easier. It sounded more better
for you.
Yeah, at that point. So yeah, I came looking for a job.
Okay, so fast forward, you prepared, now you're ready to travel. By the way, was that your first flight?
Yeah, of course, it was the first flight.
Okay, how was it? Tell us about it.
Whoa, wow. I prayed for it. I might have fasted along the way, but believe it or not, I'm an adrenaline junkie. So it was like something to look forward to. So I wasn't so scared, but in case of anything, I practiced how to scream and say my last prayer, just in case.
Just in case.
Yes, it was indeed.
So you're already on the plane, you've reached Dubai airport, you've landed. Did you have someone to pick you? Were you heading somewhere? Do you already had somewhere to go to, or was it a hotel? Was it an accommodation? Was it someone's house?
Well, I was lucky, which is not the same story for everyone. I was lucky because my buddies had given me, info. I had really collected enough information about the accommodation, how to live, and a few more things. So I was lucky because the same buddies had arranged for the accommodation and somebody to pick me up. Actually, one of my buddies was still the one to pick me up, along with the buddy that I came with from Kenya. So I was lucky. It was not the same story for other people. Even today, the story still continues. But in my case, I would just say I was really, really blessed and lucky. Okay,
so what was the sort of accommodation? Was it someone's house, or was it a shared accommodation?
Whoa. Now this is where things started. That's when I realized I'm no longer in Kenya, because I came and found this kind of setup here. The setup is that people stay in a villa, and you cannot take a villa in terms of money. It's a lot of money. So people basically take it and share it. So it's shared accommodation. But the surprise of surprises was how many people you share with this accommodation. That really surprised me.
That surprised you?
Yes.
Okay, so you're already in the shared accommodation, then you've come here. How was your job search journey? How was it?
Well, that's I'm gonna choose to give the shorter version of the whole thing.
Okay.
Because we might stay here the whole night.
Okay.
This lady who was hosting us, or rather the owner of the accommodation,
okay.
She was a little bit matronish, like a matron, you understand?
Okay.
Because just figure it this way, that staying in that accommodation is a source of income for her.
For her, yes.
So I think she has this mindset that if these people are jobless,
yes,
and they run out of the money they came with, then it means they will not stay here, or even if they stay, they will not be paying me. So she really had that thing of let them get a job so that they can keep paying the rent and all that. So she had prepared us and would really wake us up, as in go out,
yes,
go out. And that's when I came to realize it's not just go out and look for a job, it's actually go out and tarmac.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was very pushy.
Yes.
So, and it's a good thing that she pushed us, because we made things that maybe probably would have taken longer,
yes,
get closer to us.
Yes.
Yeah, so now basically we would wake up,
okay,
and walk. We could have afforded to actually use the buses that time,
yes,
but you have to spare the little money that you have. So we used to walk as a group.
Okay.
And now tarmac, and literally, do you know what is tarmacking?
Yes, yes.
You tarmac, that's where the shoe, your feet meet the tarmac as you walk towards a place. Yes. There was one central place that we used to go, and we were lucky to be introduced to the place right away as we got here, because I don't think it was the same for other people, to a place called Mohaz.
Oh, Mohaz place. So you also experienced Mohaz place?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And that's how we would go. We would meet there. We would, we had the tips on what to do, where to go, how to go. Of course, there were many other things that we were able to gather more information on how to go and where to go.
Yes, I'm sure some of the viewers will be wondering, who is Moha? Moha is a person, that's Mohammed, and I think he was, where was he from? I can't remember.
I'm not very, very sure, but it was either Sudanese or Somali, or some people who had settled in Kenya, because I think he used to speak Swahili.
Yes.
But he had come here. And,
I think he had come the earlier days, and he was settled. He had a cyber cafe. We were looking for a job at an era where there was no Wi-Fi. You don't have a laptop. No one had a laptop. Of course, you're a job hunter, so you don't have no one has a laptop. There is no Wi-Fi, so everybody goes to the cyber cafe. So this was like a centralized cyber cafe in an area around there. So every job hunter East African. Because most people are East African, right?
Yeah.
Mostly Kenyans.
It was,
yes, but it was Kenyans. You see a few Tanzanians, few Ugandans, but everybody would meet there. He has all formats of CVs. So he'll make your CV, whoever comes. For some people like us who you've never worked back home, so he'll make the CV for you. And then he had newspapers, daily newspapers every day. He has daily newspapers, so you check all through the newspaper. You can apply for the jobs that you would, the classifieds and all that. So that was Moha. Moha, wherever you are, if you're in social media, we are really grateful. We thank you and God bless you. I'm thanking you on behalf of everyone of my era. Now we're talking about
them days.
When was that? Days. Yes, that was around 1990.
At least a decade plus.
No, not 19. That was around
at least a decade plus. 1 decade plus.
1 decade plus.
Going to 2.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So how long did it take you to get a job?
Well, I would say I'm one of the lucky few that got a job within 5 weeks.
5 weeks,
yes.
That was good.
Yes, because basically those days we used to come with 2 months visa.
Yes.
So getting it when 1 month is already gone, and it's those days that you count. You really count like,
day.
Oh God, another day has gone. Hi, oh God, another day has gone.
Yes.
Hi, I'm closer to either Kish.
Or
we
used to go for visa change. Yes.
Lord. Yes. So it was either Kish or back home.
Yes.
So I was lucky to get a job within 5 weeks.
Did you ever have the issues people go through with the visa issues? Because I remember there's a time I had come with the visit visa in the process of my going and coming. There's one time I came with a visit visa, and the visa was actually for 3 months. The one which was from Emirates. Emirates Airlines was giving visa with a flight. Yes. So it was for 3 months. But then I met this guy around Dera. I met this guy, and the guy was like, no, I don't know what had happened. We were talking. He's Kenyan. And then the guy mentioned about the visa, and then he was saying that his friends, who happens to be a lady, whoever made the visa for her, told her that the visa was for 3 months, and yet the visa was for 1 month. So she actually had 2 months overstay. So you can imagine 2 months overstay in Dubai. So you didn't have any issues with the visa?
I never had any issue, but then again, you see, because of the embassy, the German embassy, I learned a few things.
Yes.
And I knew that they give you visas that are like, let's say 6 months, a year, 5 years. So I already had that in mind.
Yes.
So even when I was inquiring about the visas and all that, because it was basically more of visit visa. By the time you come to learn about employment and transit, it was way later. But so I had that idea that visa is timed, so by the time I got my visa, I checked, and one more thing is that those days we didn't have any form of ID.
Yes.
We didn't have any other form of ID.
Yes.
And the passport, you literally sleep with it here.
Yes.
In case
because
you
you're not
get
sure.
lost. And then there were stories of things that people steal those people,
Yes.
So we used to basically go out with a
visa copy.
So if you are carrying a paper every day, you surely know how many days it is. So somehow, and it was at the back of my mind that I'm racing against time. So kind of, and then there was something, I can't remember how it was. I think it was a message or something that it used to alert you when you were the visa is about to expire. So I think I remember something like that. I might just have lucky, or maybe since I was so inquisitive when my buddies were around, I might have known this is the thing.
So you came, it took you 5 weeks to get a job, and now you're working. Are there any time at any point of time that you felt discouraged, those sorts of, no, I don't think, no, this is not it, I'm just going back home? Is there
yes, there were so many. There are so many actually, and but the main one that I can really talk about now is the rooftop story. Yes.
Why rooftop story?
Rooftop story. Like I said, we slept and stayed in villas.
Yes.
So the setup of the villa is that its roof is it's homely. It's more of a home, and that's why the clotheslines are, and it was just basically a balcony that is a big balcony. And now we used to, as the accommodation was shared and all that, something happened. Another thing about this place is that buildings are demolished after a certain age.
Yes.
So it was time for the building that we were in. It had been marked for demolition, but I didn't know.
Yes.
For some reason I didn't know. Nobody told me. The lady didn't tell me. My flatmates didn't tell me. So it just happened that when I came back from work, 2 or 3 days after I had paid and renewed my rent, I just came back to an empty house. Luckily, for some reason, when you're a visitor here, you live inside your briefcase.
Yes.
So I was lucky to find it just standing on its own there.
Yes.
And for some reason, I don't know why, I had my own mattress. So that's what saved the day.
Yes.
But then where was I gonna go? As in, Dubai people work quite late.
Yes.
So by the time I came, it was going to midnight. Where will I go after midnight? Where's the money even to start calling around else, and those days when you get even 5 dirhams, is you call your mom. You people back at home. You'd rather eat. You'd rather sleep without eating and call them because you miss them and all that. So really, I had no other option but to just sleep in that empty, hollow house. And what I did now, I felt that the higher you are, the better and more safer you are. So I went. It was like 3-story building, so I went to the top, the rooftop, and closed the door behind me, and that's how I felt safe.
Yes.
And I just put the mattress there. I slept there for several days, actually several weeks, and whenever I would try and sleep, I would, it just happened to be where it's the landing line, I believe, for the flights to Dubai. It's just next to the airport. So I kept seeing, flights coming, and that time as much as I had given up, I was like, if a flight is like a matatu, know what's a matatu, I would really just stop it and tell them, on your way back, pick me. So this is one, I can say that was my down lowest I can ever think about. There were so many other incidences, but this one was there that I can also relate to, because when that time came about, there was no that was the first time I realized that you can sleep hungry.
Yeah.
If it's not for some finger rolls that used to be 1 dirham, 6 pieces.
Ooh, finger rolls, we've survived on them.
And they were sweet, so sweet. And the soda that day, those days it was only 1 dirham.
Yes.
So at least with 5 dirhams, you have food for 3 days.
Yes. And we didn't care about balanced diet, no nothing.
No. Well, which balance?
Yeah.
Where are you balancing? Where are you balancing if you're going to sleep on that mattress? You understand? And it just happens that it was one of the hottest seasons then. So I really had to improvise, and that's, I learned one more thing there, that life is full of lessons, that you don't have to be comfortable to make yourself comfortable. I improvised and made my own AC out of the misery. I made some mystery there.
AC?
Yes, AC, because you see, it's hot.
Yes.
Once the building is for demolition, power is cut off.
Yes. So
luckily water still runs, because
that's the good thing with Dubai. Does it happen the same in our countries now?
Well,
I don't know. Yes.
Our country we don't need the light
no, as in
power for so many of those things. Naturally, we don't need to AC. Yes. So what I did was that I used to fetch water. It would get cold, and I would just, around the mattress, I would hang, because the clotheslines were there. I would hang them when they are wet, and the wind, the way it blows. By the time it circles and dries that thing, at least I'm cold enough to sleep. So if I get 3 hours of sleep, that was good enough. And I got so comfortable and started inviting people there for the weekends. The weekends those days. Come. Yes, to my villa. Come to my villa. So without paying, I got comfortable. Okay. Until I could get some money now to go to another proper accommodation.
Another shared one.
Yes, so that was one of those days that I thought I would rather go back.
Okay, now let's talk about shared accommodations. I had my incident in my time. Yes, I've lived in a shared accommodation for a while. So in shared accommodation, because it was a room, it's one studio, and then there were several people. But then you see it's a place, everybody have their own character. This one is from this country. In fact, I was with a Cameroonian, with a Nigerian, I was with a Kenyan, a fellow Kenyan too, and I think a Somalian, I can't remember. Yes, but then everybody have their own characters. But but there are so many dramas. Dramas, as in shared accommodation dramas. Yes. Dramas are so much. But one of them, one which was the worst for me. There's one time I've just woken up and I've gone to the fridge. I'm going to get something in the fridge, and then shock. What I find is a piece of tomato. Okay, and then someone has just labeled, as in, this is for Rosebell, this is for Tom. Yes, you've just written
on a tomato.
Yes. You can imagine how tomato is small, and then someone has just labeled it. And I was like, now this is reality. Okay, so did you come?
Well, personally, I can really figure out of any big drama that was there, and like now there was no need for us to label food, because this matron, like I told you, she was I think she had stayed long enough to know these things and to avoid such, so she had made it in a way that we would contribute money and buy food all together. Inclusive. So there's nobody's this thing. The only thing is those personal things like shower gel or something, or soap, which you cannot go labeling. And so basically there were no dramas that much. She was really organized in her own way. But of course there were others. There's always the world sometimes is just a small village. There's how you'll still hear a few dramas and funny things, and I knew there were dramas around.
Okay. Yeah. Now, as we all know, Dubai is a cosmopolitan country with more than 200 nationalities.
Yeah.
So, it being so, it means you tend to mingle with people from different countries, different nationalities.
It's inevitable.
And everywhere. Yeah. At workplace, at everywhere, as in everything you're doing. So, has it impacted you in any way? Because as for me, to begin with, is language. English. It's in Dubai that I learned that English is just a language.
Yes.
Just a language, like any other language. So not everybody speaks English, actually. Yes. So when you want to start speaking with someone, do you speak English? And that's very normal. It's like when you're at home and you
don't
ask someone,
say, do you want to speak English?
When you ask home and ask someone, do you speak English? It's a little bit insulting, right? It's an insult. Yes.
It is.
But then here it's very normal. You just ask, do you speak English? Because English is a language. It's like, do you know Luo, my tribe? of course you
Yeah.
But then you just realize that your English goes, you know, because every time whenever you're speaking to this nationality, you're trying to blend, and because you're trying to blend, it tends to affect
I know, and
your English a bit. How's yours?
To begin with, it just put my English on a slide, and you even put it in a better way. When you say, do you speak English? You have really spoken all the English.
Yes.
The question is not like that. It's normally English. English? You don't go telling people, do you speak
Yes, because
English?
if you start doing, you've confused
the person, and you know, like I come from a place where when you do like this, you are basically saying no.
Yes.
Even without being asked.
Yes.
Then I found that there's another way, and people that when they do that, they simply mean yes.
No, they say yes.
They say yes. Are you sure? Is it not the answer?
Yes.
So you are left, you know. So anyway, for me, it has affected me in many ways.
Yes.
First, but English class. Let me put that name. Let me say it's finished.
Yes.
But at the same time, it opened my mind to so many different beautiful things. Your cultures, foods. I'm the kind of person that is so choosy when it comes to food. But being around people, you know, then once in a while, because no matter how small a company is, there'll be at least 5 different nationals. So there's that culture mix and all that. And if it's lunch, you invite someone, let's go to a Kenyan restaurant, let's go. And so I realized, because you don't expect people to come to a Kenyan restaurant and not try Kenyan food.
Yes.
Similarly, if you go to another nationalities, you know, so it opened me to realize that you can embrace the future with the, you know, with the knowledge that culture is not different. For example, all I knew is that they are Arabic people.
Yes.
I didn't know that they are Arabic nations.
Yes. As in, so this is Lebanese. Oh, this is Egyptian. Oh, okay. This.
But
is
do you know what confused me most? Asians.
But at least you know Chinese.
Because all along I knew that all doctors are from India. Until I realized there's India and there is Pakistan. Until today, and there's Nepali, and you know they're all you know, brothers and sisters in a way that in most,
and somehow they
everything.
almost look alike. So unless you know them too well,
it has taught me so many. I would say I've gathered so much. You know, when we read history, I now started seeing how history is made. Yes, how history is made. It has really impacted my life. I would say so.
Okay, so let's talk about misconceptions. When you're back home, there were these misconceptions you had about Dubai, and then you landed in Dubai. So some definitely are true, some are false. How true or false are they?
Well.
Those that you had.
It's false. It was more false because when you think things are like this and you come and find they are not, then it is the other way. So and I'll start with the job one.
Yes.
At least we knew that it's not easy to find a job, but we didn't know how hard it was actually. I had that impression. You know, when you talk with people, they say, jobs are there. You know, if I'm directly translating Swahili into job ziko. Yes. So jobs are there. So I thought that when you come to the airport, you're literally going to find jobs from the airport, as in housekeeping. This side, there's a bus going for people who want housekeeping. Who wants accounts job?
Here, this side.
Here, come this side. You know, like, and we have jobs for hotel and the industry.
Yes.
Who wants? This is the person going with this side.
This side, yes.
And I was shocked to realize you have to come and look for a job. It was hard to get a job, and even harder to keep that job. That was the first one.
Okay.
Secondly, this concept of things like once you're here, things will be easier. You know, like it's you know, the concept of thinking it's just going to happen like this.
Yes.
You know, that the difference of opportunities being there and being easy. And I realized it's not easy. Nothing in life is easy. It's not easy. So don't live the country with that mentality that it's gonna be easier. It's easy. It's hard work. You have to put some input into it. And that was the biggest misconception. Then there was the other one, we call it rehab. As in rehab, you can be wild as you want at home, back home, and you can do. So when you want to tame down and stop being wild, this is a place to come for rehabilitation. It's wrong, dead wrong. Because whatever makes you wild there is here as well. If it's clubbing, it's there. If it's partying, it's there. If it's dressing code, it's there. So it's all about you. It's about the discipline. It's not, this is not, literally things are brought even forward to you. So you can, it's all about being disciplined with a mindset, with a goal. You don't think that you're coming or you're sending your child here to rehabilitate. That person must also have made up their mind that they're coming to be,
to tame themselves.
To tame themselves up. Yes, because this is a city that never sleeps. You have everything at your doorstep, actually at your bed step, because you can wake up, you withdraw money literally from the car. You don't need to stop, you just drive through. You know the drive-throughs of KFC. You drive through money ATM, it's drive-through for everything, everything. Entertainment, everything. So that's another one. But the one that shocked me in such a nice way was the religious misconception. Because once you hear it's the Middle East, the next thing that comes on your mind is the Arabic. Once Arabic is mentioned, the next thing that goes with it is Muslim. So I personally had the thought and the impression that there goes my religion. And in fact, it was so, I wouldn't say bad, it was such a determining factor that when we were going to Maha's place for the CVs, I saw people who literally changed their religion on the CV. Probably because they thought it would be giving them a better chance to get a job, and only to come and realize that we have freedom of worship. There is a freedom of worship here in the UAE. We have church compounds. You are able to pray. You are able to fast. You are able to practice religion without prejudice. You're free to do what you have. I know it's a misconception, not just in Kenya, but worldwide. People think there is no freedom of worship. So that was, I would say, and I will close with that was the biggest misconception that I ever had. Yes, so I'm nullifying that thought. Yes.
Okay, so you're here now, and then someone in Kenya would like to come to Dubai to look for a job and to leave. Would you advise them to come?
Given the circumstances, well, see, everybody has their own way, because like even those days we were looking for job, there are people who got job on the second day of their visa. On their arrival they got, another person 3 days to the expiry of their visa they got, you understand? So in terms of job if you determine to come, because you see, when you're determined to do something, nothing should stop you. So I cannot say that don't come things, but what I know is that for sure it's harder than it was then. It was hard to get a job, but now it's more harder because it's a growing nation as well. So that is number one. But then in the case peradventure you still come, there are things that I can only tell you or advise you, but only you can carry them out. The principles of life apply no matter where you go, like saving for the future, being disciplined, keeping your eyes and focus on your goal. All those things are there. For example, saving. There are things that now I know that had I known before, because I'm here a decade plus, so imagine, and if I had known that, I'm sure I would be more far than where I am. I wouldn't say I'm in the same spot, but even then I wouldn't say that I'm where I want to be.
So Shosti, let's talk a little bit about relationships. So what's your relationship status? Let's start it from there. What's your relationship status for some of we who don't know?
I'm double. I'm not single. I'm married.
Oh, you're double. Okay.
Yes.
You're married.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, husband. Okay. So now that you're married, okay, I just need a little advice for the singles like we. We all have the perception that in Dubai, people have the transit mentality. I don't know if that's good English, but that's actually exactly what I mean. People have a transit mentality whereby you find everybody is on the go. As in, even if you get a guy, you find he's not thinking of staying in Dubai for long. So they're always thinking going back to their country or going to Europe or going to the US. Okay, so it means getting a real tangible relationship is difficult. So what's your take on that?
Well, my take on that is that relationship, just like love, is it's found in strange places. Okay, because it and love, to begin with, is not normally found. It's developed into.
Yes.
It will be a relationship that develops into that. And basically, for any of them to be found, is that it will be with where you spend most of your time or your surroundings. For example, if I had to characterize myself, I'm a character that will be found in only 3 places. You'll either find me at work. If I'm not at work, I'm in the church. If I'm not in the church, I'm then in my house. So it means that if I have to develop any relationship, it will be within those 3 places. So if I am working and I'm working with the concept that this job, I'm gonna hold on it for some time, chances are that when I get a relationship, I'll go into it with that. You understand? But if I'm thinking of this is a stepping stone, I'm just gonna do here, I'll be here in Dubai. Like I told you, I was going to Germany. So if I have that mentality that I'm still gonna go, then I might not develop a relationship that is, I'll be telling myself anyway I'm gonna go, so I don't have to work hard on it. So basically that's what it is. I believe that transit, most people have that mentality. It's very true, but again, it's also on personal discipline about that. So whatever you go into it, because you have to build that relationship to grow into something, whatever you put into it is what will give back to you.
No, but then let's say I personally have don't have a transit mentality. So I'm looking for something permanent. You understand? But the person I'm meeting has a transit mentality. So it means this thing can't work. Okay. We're all looking at different things.
Okay.
Yes. So, which takes us back to the same thing. It means it will end up being a temporary thing.
Which I truly understand. But then again, as well, there's this concept about any relationship. It's for me, I believe it's what you are looking for. That might determine, because if that is what you are looking for, then you will quickly pick that this person is on a transit mentality, is what I think. But then again, I cannot blame you or this person, because one thing I've realized is that being away from home, the person brings into that relationship a lot of baggage, emotional baggage. Then there's that loneliness that you want to just cover up. So it will be rare, but it's all over. It's all over the world. It doesn't matter where you are. It will be, there's that possibility, because people look for what they want in a relationship. So if they don't get it, for sure they will not. Go. That's why if you are permanently thinking of this place and you figure it out in a permanent way, the other person will come with a 2 weeks visa mentality.
Exactly.
So what will he look for other than 2 weeks visa?
2 weeks
but
girlfriend.
The good thing is that the thing is, love, like respect, is reciprocal. If you are not getting it, you'll know. The vibes will tell you. Yeah, so it's true that before you can get to your Prince Charming, you'll have crossed a few frogs along the way.
A few transit visas.
A few transit, 2 weeks visa. That's the mentality. So next time, don't say transit, say 2 weeks visa.
Okay, there's this thing we can't avoid and we can't ignore, that we are currently in a pandemic season.
Yeah, sure.
And you, as a healthcare worker, has this pandemic, quarantine, lockdown, curfew time tested your marriage?
Oh yes, indeed it has, because first thing is that as it started, nobody in the entire world had figured out which way to go. Even till now, it's not totally figured out. So we had to put extra hours into the whole system, not knowing when you might be needed and what to do, and a few tips here and there, like the basic one being the protective gear. So you cannot go to work in the same clothes that you take home. So you see, it means it takes extra. You either wake up earlier than before and all that. So it means, in a relationship, there's that thing of you look forward to going home, either to your partner or to your kids or to family anyway. So staying longer than expected already is a strain to the so, and it came to a point that, you know, because of the vicious cycle of the whole thing, people had to stay in hotels and all that. So imagine if I am a mommy who has to stay in the hotel, I will not see my children. You know, it has affected us. Then at the same time, you know, marriage or any relationship is worked on, and the way you work on it's different. For example, some people go out for dinner. There are different things. So there was that, either it's getting less time for such, or too much time, because then there was this thing of, there is and is still there, the thing of working at home. The thing that makes you want to go home is sometimes because there was a distance and a different, you know, that time that you were not there, so you look forward to. Now if you're staying with someone for 25 hours in one day and just looking each other with the highest 1.5 meters keep your distance, it might be something else. It sparks some, you know, it's there. So, and the other one, like in our case, my case was that it happened that my partner is locked down because of the lockdown in a different emirate, and you know, the transport issues and all that. So it's either too expensive to go to a place that you normally barely spend anything. So one way or the other, it has affected people differently. But for me, those are the areas I can quickly mention about.
Okay. And about precautions, curfews, lockdowns, what would you advise us?
Well,
you as a frontline,
as we have seen things unfolding, my advice is that people should really follow the rules and the regulations as they are set. I know if I was here, I'll probably protest as well. But being here and seeing the real picture and seeing how fast this can spread and how easily the trend can be broken, I would really follow that. And I understand this. But then again, we have social media, we have everything that should equip you to imagine or think that when they say that, the authorities tell you this, it's for a reason. Because we have seen it as it happened. So my main and only advice that I'll tell people, let them follow what they're being told. Because it's something new. But the best thing is that nothing stays forever. We will overcome this as well. Yes.
Okay, so before we end our episode today, we do have a segment that is called Rozzie's Rapid Questions. So on these rapid questions, you're supposed to answer the questions rapidly.
Okay.
Okay. So you love cars, right?
Yes, I do.
Yes. So Range or Mercedes?
Range Rover, as long as it's not an Evo. Range Rover.
Okay. Doing dangerous stuff, paragliding or bungee jumping?
Paragliding. Any day, anytime.
So what is the craziest thing you've ever done?
Oh, it's many things, but I'll go to one.
Okay.
In Umalkwen, there's this adventure park, and it has dives that you go to, and you jump from God knows how many meters up, and you go down in a waterway, and it's so 99% of that whole thing is just dark, whereby you go and you're thrown by water up all this time, and it's a few seconds, but it looks like a whole day down there.
Yes.
That was the craziest thing. That was the craziest thing. And there's one more that is called Jumeirah Scare. The same thing about water. You just from very high, I don't know how many feet, you just put your this thing and you are dropped, I don't know how many
Is it the one that
meters.
you're dropped like in a
yes,
coffin?
just like in a coffin.
Oh!
That
I did it once. I can never.
Scary. Jumeirah Scare. It's called Jumeirah Scare. You should try it again. Oh, and I forgot. There's even worse. Have you done the Abu Dhabi?
That's the one I did. That's the one.
Yes.
No,
that is crazy.
No,
and guess what?
Yes.
I was crazy enough to go the second and the third time.
Oh no.
In the Daredevil.
Okay. That
Can you go again? I went there.
No, I leave that to you.
Yes.
Okay, so where would you rather be on your birthday? With your family or with friends?
Family.
Oh, okay. And where is your best vacation site?
Vacation? Believe it or not, it's with my mom in the village.
Wow, that's
just
amazing.
The two of us. Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah. Thank you, viewers, for watching. And in case you've not subscribed, please consider subscribing and press the notification bell so that you'll be notified.